Welcome back, YouTubers, to another everyday life of an Aspie vlog. If you're following me today, I'm Aspie. I'm all about creating mental health and awareness and sharing my life stories with Asperger's syndrome, general health versus your mental health, and with the tips and advice along the way, and hopefully along with the games. So if you're into any of these and more, feel free to subscribe to me on the bottom right hand corner, and if you do decide to be on the bandwagon as a family member, feel free to also turn on the notification bell so you can keep up to date for future videos like these and more. I want to make a quick apology to you all that are looking for maybe upbeat kind of video at this point of time, but as the title reads, this is going to be just a quick tribute for my fur babies that has been long and gone. I can get it off my chest before I continue. I'm going to do something basically today because obviously it has been long overdue while I've been after receiving the news when I got home, based on when I was supposed to meet my little fur baby for the first time, and obviously due to unforeseen circumstances I didn't get a chance to see her and meet her in person in the, well, not in the flesh as such, but in the fur, because obviously she was my fur baby, or the parents who adopted her out here say. And this one is Bella, and obviously you may have seen some photos flying about either on Instagram or somewhere about Bella, and hopefully in saying this that I'm going to just quickly give you the lowdown about in reference to the Furry Friends Tag, and also just doing it as a kind of tribute. And because as we know, when it comes down to saying our goodbyes, be it as to our fur babies or to our family and friends due to the fight of maybe of their last breath due to the cancer or anything, sometimes we tend to bottle it up, and we tend to live in regrets right now in this day and age, and people that we feel that we don't care about. And then all of a sudden, with those people that did come into our lives, that did leave us, basically, they left a hole in our heart and actually maybe left us a hidden message regardless of what they've been through. So this is going to be kind of similar to the Fur Babies tag or Fur Friends tag that I did a couple of years back, maybe when I first started this channel, in a way of introducing you guys to who it is in it. While I'm doing this recording, I just want to do it in remembrance, as well as just to get it off my chest as part of therapy before I get into some of the lowdown of what I want to share with you all, hopefully in the next video is over. So I hope that we can be supportive of one another in respect to what I'm sharing with you today, because obviously, yes, it may be a sad time that while I'm trying to just remember the fur babies, that I am clearly going to introduce you guys to this. And I'm hoping just to give you reference to this, and then also just show some images of my fur babies that passed on and that, and let you know how I feel, because obviously it's really aches me that I didn't get a chance to actually see them. So I'm going to do this as a part 2 of the fur baby and introduce you guys, basically, hopefully Bella in the mix with the tribute. So the first question was on that Furry Friend Tag that I did 2 years ago was, what is the name of your fur babies? Okay, I've got 3. So one was Sandy, Coco, and the recent one leading up to when I heard about the death of Bella. So Coco obviously has other names as well, which will be Coco Florabelle Lativa, which Florabelle Lativa were her grand ancestry names, versus basically she got adopted out from a breeding farm. Obviously she was a cat breeder. She was well known for breeding the pedigree Persian kittens that she was. Since she's a pedigree Persian, she was at least 13 or 14 years of age. She was doing pretty well, Coco was. And in saying this, with Coco, she had some predisposition kind of conditions like they do with the pedigree Persians, being one for the flat nose, which led to, trouble breathing, basically mucus on the lungs. Like, she has resistance of getting colds and flus a lot. But other than that, she was pretty much done well good. Not even quirks based on Coco was she was always full of energy regardless of her age. We felt that she was real energetic, even though leading up to the later stages of life, we noticed that she was getting a bit grumpy and bossy in her own right with the other one of Sandy. And in saying this though, like, my favorite memory of them both, obviously, of Sandy and Coco, especially since I met them with them for a while before I decided to move up to where I am right now, in New Zealand, which obviously is them sitting on the balcony basically together. They were getting close in their later stages of their age and everything. They were getting to be like close buddies, because even though that Coco always tried to tend to show who's boss, and then obviously with Sandy on the other hand, she was really submissive. She always bow down to Coco, you say. Even though I don't want to say how they died, I'll say it now. Coco pretty much died, I felt, due to her old age. Usually they say for pedigree Persians, obviously, also in their life expectancy is usually 12, 13 or even 14 if they're lucky. I'm guessing Coco has reached that life expectancy, or just a year over their life expectancy. So the next one on the list, obviously, as I said, was Sandy. Okay, how old was Sandy? Sandy, I think, was a year younger than Coco. Where I got Sandy was, she was adopted out from someone that I was boarding with. I actually, at this point of time, when I was boarding with somebody at that time who was almost like landlord or owner of the house at that time, like where I got her from was, obviously she was from the city. She was a city cat, obviously, and at that point of time she was really shy, really submissive. She was basically really clingy, and she didn't get much attention. She was the runt of the litter, shall we say. And that we found out, basically, despite it all, she was trying to fight back in the last stages as well. It was a bit of a little hump and hoe with Sandy. And in saying this though, with Sandy, it was kind of hilarious, because like some of the things I remember of her, she used to be really playful. She used to hide away, especially when it came down to strangers that were males. Obviously she must have got abused when she was younger by males, but from what I can see and observed from what she was going through. And like, she didn't get much attention, obviously, because obviously the person that I got it from, he told me that his sister obviously had little kids around, so obviously the kids obviously ignored her. All the attention was on the other kittens, but not her, so therefore that's why he wanted to see, since I'm a cat lover, he thought to reach out to me and say, hey Kieran, how about if you take her away from us, basically. Again, the personality quirks, obviously, as I just said, she's a real shy, timid cat at first. She was trying to come out of her shell, and obviously in saying this, she was actually pretty playful, also like Coco, even though she was the most playful one, because obviously she was trying to get Coco's attention all the time. That's my favourite memory of them, sitting on the balcony together at night. I had a photo of them sitting together, but I can't seem to find it to add to this. Nicknames for Sandy. I don't think we had much for nicknames for Sandy. If my parents and my sister's watching this right now as I'm doing all this up, let me know. Obviously Sandy is a ginger tabby, and obviously Sandy, again, she died of unforeseen circumstances due to her old age, of arthritis and some other problems, like her bowel movements were starting to get out of whack and everything else and whatnot. So that's now Sandy. Last but not least to introduce to you guys is, before I roll on the next footage, Bella, who only short-lived for only 2-3 months, basically, living with my parents. She was only a few months old. The vets thought basically she was about 4 or 5 months old. My mum thinks that she could have been younger, judging by her size and weight, but you guys can tell probably by the pose and whatnot that I'm doing. Where we got her from was basically from a person that was deciding to move over to Aussie, obviously here in New Zealand, and like my parents obviously adopted most of these cats out themselves, hence why I'm in a different area. And at that point of time, basically, like, the story goes of her leading up to how she died. We suspected that something was up, or shall we say my mum did, because of the pretypical signs of what she was showing. She wasn't eating. She was obviously starting to end up having seizures and everything else, even though to this day it's still a mystery to the cause of death of how Bella died, obviously, of this young age. We thought it was epilepsy, judging by what mum was telling me of the cause of death, but I could be wrong, because I'm not qualified to say or experienced enough to say what it is, even though I do my research anyway when I used to do my days. And so there's also the personality quirks of the fur baby of Bella. From what my parents told me, she was really friendly, easygoing, she was really talkative, she was always yelling at them, She always loves people's company, no matter who you were. She would just try to snuggle, but we suspected, even though she was getting clingy, to my knowledge, obviously, from what they're saying, obviously, is she was coming close to thinking that she was ill, or vice versa, that one of us were ill or something. But his favourite memories of them? Well, I don't have a favourite memory, because as I said, I didn't fully meet Bella, but I would have liked to. My sister said to me she used to call her Tinkerbell, hence, you know, the name, even though she's small. And Belle, obviously, short for Bella, even though we made a light joke for Coco Flora. Lativa Bell's one, ring my bell sort of thing, because, you know, that's a different story there. Judging by the photo, she's a tabby, got a bit of tabby and maybe a bit of a gingy tabby kind of marking on her. I could be wrong, but again, people can comment on the below. So this quickly ends briefly about Furry Friends Tag to add to the edition, which was Bella before she passed on, and this is obviously the tributes to the girls, obviously. And I'll roll on the next footage, and hopefully I'll see you on the other side. Well, that wraps up about my Furry Friends Tag versus the tributes to my fur babies that has passed on. Hopefully you like this. Smash the like button if you have. Comment below. Feel free to share these videos around. And also, in saying this, before I leave you guys today, is basically maybe I could challenge you when I write down the questions below. If any of you have any fur babies, be it cats, dogs, or what have you, to do this with me. So any one of you that will be watching this, I challenge you guys to do this tag so that we can get to know each other a bit more. Or maybe just to let me know if you have done something like this, just to link it in the description below or in the comment section, so I can pop in to say hello to you guys while having a timeout period for maybe a day or two, while, you know, getting my grips of what I'm going through right now. Guys, I thank you for your support, and as well as this, that if you haven't known me for this long, hopefully you can continue supporting me and my future projects, as I'm trying to, as I have briefly shared earlier in the piece about the projects in one of my videos, which I'll link in the bar above me as well, so that you can all about, and saying this, as well as that, to link 2 crowdfunding pages of coffee and give a little, hoping to just keep on, hopefully to continue for future videos like these and more of what is hopefully likely to come. So